What's going on YouTube? So of course, American automakers have long dominated the truck segment. However, since the year 2000, Toyota has been trying to make a dent in this heavily American segment. Now for 2022, they are making their biggest effort ever with this all-new and ground-up redesigned Tundra. This new model takes things to a level never seen before, with huge advances in capability, versatility, technology, and luxury. And today we are super excited to be here in beautiful California to bring you guys a first look at this new pinnacle of the Tundra lineup, the Capstone model with the iForce Max Hybrid powertrain. So let's go ahead and jump right into this video and see, should you buy this over the Ram Limited? Let's go ahead and find out. All right, so first things first, what are you gonna notice that's different with this Capstone? Well, it's gonna be quite a bit of things. Obviously, you're gonna fundamentally have a very similar look to the rest of the Tundra lineup in the fact that you have this brand new design, including this gigantic grille. Now, for a Capstone duty though, you're gonna have a little bit more intricate details basically. So you'll notice, exclusive to just this Capstone model, you have the chrome bars that are gonna go across the grille all through here. You also have the black mesh accenting that kind of runs up and into those chrome bars. Like I said, makes kind of a really intricate look to the grille that looks more premium, of course, since this is going to be the top trim level in the Tundra lineup. And you'll notice the blue traced Toyota badge, that's signifying that this is the iForce Max Hybrid, and all of the Capstones are going to come with this powertrain as standard. Down below, you're going to notice the big chrome strip with the Tundra branding imprinted into it. And then one of the other things I'm really noticing, if we walk over here kind of a little bit to the side, but since the iForce Max Hybrid does get this extra piece up here on the top, kind of a power bulge, because this is the most powerful way that you can get the Tundra model. Now let's take a look at the headlights next. So obviously, top end, high end, premium LED headlights. These are going to be projector style. You have the 4 beams right through there like so. The big and nice daytime running light that runs in this shape. And then you have one of my favorite aspects, the dynamic turn signal. So it kind of runs all across through there. Got this big vent right here below that. And then very importantly, you have the LED fog lights, integrated right here into the grille. Now as we start to come around to the side, you're gonna notice, again, more details that make this Capstone look more premium than the other models. And this right here is one of the biggest reasons. You're looking at 22-inch diamond cut contrast alloy wheels. These are the largest wheel size that's ever been equipped on a Tundra. And of course, the other trim levels, those are gonna top out at 20 inches. So this is gonna make that stand out all the more. The other thing I want to point out in this area, besides how nice these wheels look, is this right here. You'll notice the lower trims around the wheel arches, as well as the bottom part of the truck itself. Those are going to be body colored on this Capstone. That is exclusive to the Capstone model. And that looks really nice and premium when you start to throw in some of the other aspects, which would be your chrome and satin silver accenting that runs along the side. So you notice the Capstone branding spelled out right there. The chrome trim that goes around it looks really nice. And then we have the kind of two-tone door handle design that I really like. So you have the chrome strip on the outside edge, but the lower and the bottom part are going to be finished in the gloss black, which is something that the mirrors also share. So as you can see, you've got the chrome cap here at the top. You've got the black finish down here at the bottom. Looks real nice and sleek. LED turn signal. And then obviously these mirrors are going to be fully loaded at this point. So you have driver side auto dimming, you've got blind spot monitoring, you've got heating, and you've got power folding.
All right guys, so let's talk about the side and how you can get the Capstone model. That's probably what you're most curious about. This is the only configuration for the Capstone, so hate to burst your bubble if you wanted the long bed or if you wanted any other combination. This is going to be the only one, the Crew Max with the 5.5 foot bed, although that is the most popular combination anyway. That does mean you have a length of 233 inches for this all-new Tundra. Now, coming around to the rear design for the Capstone, there's not as many changes back here as in the front, which you would expect. There's not as many styling elements going on for the rear of the Capstone. So let's break down some of the individual design elements, and then we'll get into the capability of this model. So we have Tundra stamped into the tailgate, as you would have with any of the all-new Tundras. We do have this piece right here, which is nicely chrome for this model. And then let's check out the taillights, because this is one of my favorite elements about this all-new Tundra, is that you're going to get these nice premium LED taillights. That is going to be standard equipment on the Capstone, and as you can see, they are fully LED, and we even have the dynamic sequential turn signals, which I think is a really premium element. And then dropping down, we have our LED reverse lights right here. We have our silver trim that really gives it a premium vibe. And then we're going to have an exposed exhaust outlet just here on the left side. But let's go ahead and get into the part that you're probably most curious about. This is a truck after all. Toyota Tundra buyers are going to be using this to haul stuff and use the bed. So let's go ahead and break that down a little bit. So you can open it up using this tailgate release right here. You can also use the fob, but Toyota is including a nicer and cooler feature. Right here on the left taillight, you're going to have a button integrated into the side. You really can't see it at all, but this is designed so if you have your hands full and you need to get in the bed, you can just walk up to it, and bam, we are on a hill. It would, it would fall down normally. And as you can see, the tailgate itself is dampened. Now I also want to point out this right here. This is exclusive to the Capstone trim level. We have the power side step. So that of course is included on other models, but it's just not power. And I have to say, this is going to be a lot better. We just tested out a regular Tundra that didn't have the power step, and it's pretty hard to get the step down. So it's nice that this has the power one. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the bed itself. Like I mentioned, this is the 5.5-foot bed for this model. We also have LED lighting integrated on all of the sides. We have hooks and rails that you can slide stuff around. We have LED lighting at the top. We also have a bed camera. And finally, in the tailgate area, we do have a 400-watt power outlet here on the right side, which can power various different accessories. It's not going to be like able to power your house like you would find in the F-150, but it is nice that they do throw that in. Now, shutting up the tailgate, you're probably curious about the towing figures. Unfortunately, that is going to be under embargo until February 1st. Now it's time to talk about the warranty information as well as your safety systems. Now, as you would expect out of a fully loaded Capstone model, you will have every single one of Toyota's safety systems. So you're looking at their 2.5 Safety Sense suite, which is going to include everything: forward emergency braking, lane keeping assist, auto high beam headlamps, as well as adaptive cruise control. And that advanced system is also going to include road sign detection. And then for your warranty information, you are going to have a 3-year, 36,000-mile basic warranty, 5-year, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty. And I do want to point out that this hybrid components of this powertrain, so the battery, is going to have a 10-year, 150,000-mile warranty. So that's particularly worth noting for those of you who are going to keep this Tundra around for a long time and might be a little bit worried about the hybrid components. Well guys, that's all for this Capstone on the outside. As you can see, Toyota has done a lot to make this a more premium experience on the outside. But now let's go ahead and check out the interior, and then we'll talk about the hybrid powertrain.
Now, as nice as the exterior of this new Capstone is, the real story is the interior, because that's where you're going to be spending all the time, and that's where Toyota has spent a lot of time to make sure you have the maximum luxurious experience. So let's go ahead and head that direction. Of course, obviously, smart entry, just like with all the other Tundra models. You have the brand's typical key fob, and you have the blue accenting to show you you're driving a hybrid model. You can grab behind these color contrast handles, and you'll notice the mirrors will electrically fold outward when you unlock the vehicle. And I do want to mention the power running boards. So these are standard on the Capstone model. As you can see, really nice and large. They're going to fold out when you unlock the vehicle and open up the door. Right now they're just locked in the down position, but like I said, they're full power normally. Come and take a look inside of here. As you can see, immediately you're going to know this is the top dog model because you have a very premium look to this interior. Lots of special touches, which I'll kind of start to go through one by one, but there is quite a bit that's different with this trim level. Let's talk about probably the number one thing that's different about this. That's going to be this very special color scheme. So you'll notice we have this really cool black and white. Also, this leather itself is really high grade, so it's semi-aniline leather. That's one of the nicest grades of leather that you can get on any vehicle, and you usually see this in Lexus products. So you have the premium stitching and quilting design all through here. You've got the two-tone finish. Like I was mentioning, black and white, this is the only color of the interior that you will get the capstone in, and none of the other trim levels have this color scheming. And one of the things I really like about it is having the black on the bottom. Means that you're not gonna have to worry about stains and stuff like that as much as you would with a full white interior. So you kind of get the cool look, but without like the cons, basically. I should mention the seat adjustments themselves. We have 12-way power adjusting seats. You've got 4-way lumbar support, and you also have a power thigh extension. And while we're down here, you'll notice we have a kind of a shiny gloss plastic here. We also have the same type of gloss plastic finish on the door trim. That's because this is a pre-production model. I want to emphasize there are some elements that are pre-production. So obviously you're not gonna have slick, hard plastic on the door trim of the production model. It's gonna be textured, it's gonna look nice, but there are a few elements inside of this cabin right now that are still pre-production. That being said, let's look at the door trim itself. Most of the materials do reflect the production model in the terms of the niceness. So you're gonna notice you've got the white leather across the armrest here. You got the stitching details, you got more of that leather there, and you also have full leather across the top. The same design as the normal version, so it's nice and flat. You can rest your arm up on it, which is real nice. And then we have the open pore American walnut wood. You're gonna see this throughout the cabin. This is special to the capstone model, and it feels very nice when you touch it. 2-person memory seating, 4 fully automatic windows like all the other Tundras, and lots of door storage as well. Furthermore, we have what looks to be a metal speaker grill. Actually touching it, this is plastic, but this is special to the capstone, having the metal look to it. I think it looks very nice. But I guess it's time for us to go ahead and kind of hop inside and kind of dive into this a little deeper here. I'll show you how you get in. Like I was mentioning, these running boards are super large. You can put your feet on completely sideways like this. And then I'm noticing when I'm bringing myself into the truck, we do have the leather covering on the assist grip. And shutting the door there, nice and solid thunk. And here we are. Here's the entire cabin as a whole. I really want us to start off by taking a look around at some of the cabin materials. Again, a few areas are not full production spec, but you will notice they're in general a lot more premium for this model. So across the upper dashboard, we do have the full leather material with the stitching detail. That looks very nice. You got a textured plastic over here. You have the American walnut, again, right through here, open pore finish. And you really can't see it right now, but inside of this is actually capstone branding, which illuminates with the ambient lighting and when you first get into the truck. That's a really cool and nice touch. Down below that, we have this large section. This is all finished in the white leather, lots of extra stitching details that run through there. That's going to carry on through this area. All the center console with the American walnut, the gloss black trim, more of the white leather here for your knee to rest against, and as well right here and on this cover. So very nice finish. Obviously, even though this is not the full production spec, everything in here fits together really nicely and feels very solid. And as we come over here to the button, got the hybrid blue finish, like with other Toyota products. And look at those gauges. Really, really nice looking gauges. So this is the 12.3-inch full digital gauge cluster. This is available on other Tundra models, but of course it's going to be standard here with Capstone. And when it was booting up, each time you boot it up, you do see a graphic which kind of shows you some different national parks. It kind of cycles between a few different ones just to give you that cool vibe. And then obviously these graphics, really sharp. This is actually my first time checking out the full digital gauge cluster in person. I'm super impressed. These look very vivid and very nice looking. Obviously you're going to be able to change the designs of this stuff. You've got your traditional multifunction on the left side, main tachometer and stuff right there in the middle. It's going to change with your drive modes, and then you can leave up several different gauges over there on this side depending on what you want, or you could leave it blank if you prefer to do that. It might be a little hard for Mason to see when he brings up the camera here, but we also have the standard head-up display. This is, I believe, 10 inches, and it contains quite a lot of information. It looks very nice and crisp here in person. Let's come back here to the steering wheel. With the Capstone, obviously, you do have the fully loaded experience, so that means you're going to have the really nice new design with the steering wheel, perforated leather throughout, piano black accents, silver, color contrast stitching, and power adjustment, which is a nice touch. Additionally, of course, it is going to be heated on this model. And we do have the rain sense wipers. Obviously, this regular automatic headlights, as you would expect. The heated steering wheel button is going to be located over here, as well as some of your other buttons, including your bed lighting, fully LED, of course. And then panning over here to our storage, let's take a look. Just like with the other Tundra models, you can slide back this tray for quick access into the console itself. Slide it forward and push the button on the side. That's going to raise us up here and reveal this very large center console. Plenty of space inside of here. You've got illumination. You have your traditional USB as well as your USB Type-C, and you do have some segmentation here, which is a nice touch. Click that button right there. That's going to reveal our cup holders underneath of the American walnut wood. And up in the front, we still have the large console area, which is a wireless phone charging pad, so you can just set your phone right there. When you do place your phone there, it will tell you that it's charging up here in the main display. Obviously, back behind that, you've got your traditional style shifter. I will mention, you do always have this console arrangement on the Capstone as well as the other Tundra models. You always have the console. There's no bench seating. It's going to be the bucket seats. Of course, you're just going to pull back for drive, bump over here to left for manual shifting. And then when in reverse, you have the really beautiful 360-degree camera system, active trajectory, really nice graphics on board with this. If you click on any of these views, this is where you're going to be able to change those views to the side, to the back. You even have the bed camera, which is a really nice touch. And let me show you the kind of cool magic here. Press this button, and this is where you get the kind of impressive piece that you can impress your friends with when they're inside the vehicle. Go into this 360 spin. Like I said, really nice and crisp. We've seen other Toyota and Lexus products with this, but let me emphasize that they've really upgraded the graphics. So on the new Tundra model, definitely a lot more wow factor involved with this. Obviously, you've got your electronic parking brake. It does automatically engage when you put the vehicle into park, and you have the auto brake hold as well. Let's see, off to the side of that, we have our four-wheel drive. That's simple. You just go from 4 high to 4 low, 4 high. And then you have your drive mode controllers. We are missing a few buttons here from the production spec. And then over here, we do have the trailer brake controller as well. And while I was talking about the trailer equipment, I will mention the straight path assist. This is basically a system that's going to make it easier for you to back up a trailer, which, you know, as you know, can be quite a tricky circumstance. Let's go above this. You're going to notice the dual zone automatic climate control setup. This looks pretty much the same as in the other Tundras. Obviously, you just adjust the temperature with these nice controls right here. All of it's physically located, so it's nice and easy to use, even if you have gloves on or something like that. Of course, standard 3-stage heated seats and 3-stage ventilated seats, as this is the top model. You've got a USB port on this side, and then off to this side, you have the nice chunky volume knob. Now, as far as the sound system is concerned, we do have the 12-speaker JBL sound system, which is shared with the 1794 as well as the Platinum trim levels. I'm not going to give you a sample on this model because I'm just in this for just a second. I don't have my phone paired for royalty-free music. But of course, that is going to sound the same as it does in the other trim levels. But now let's get to the part I'm always excited to talk about with this new Tundra, and that is this gigantic 14-inch display and just the huge tech upgrade that the Tundra, as well as the entire Toyota lineup, is going through right now. So this is Toyota's new multimedia audio infotainment system, replaces the InTune system, and really a night and day change here. First of all, Very simple layout. You just have these shortcuts along the side, so it's very easy to get used to. But the graphics on this are really, really impressive. Just so high quality. The performance is 5 times faster than the previous in-tune system, and I believe that. This is what the standard navigation looks like. Of course, you have wireless Android Auto, wireless Apple CarPlay, and then you can just kind of click through some of these things. I'll show you what as you can see, it's very quick to respond to various things. You have a lot of different settings inside of here. You have driver profiles, which link to your phone or to your key fob. And then across the top, you do have some various emblems, which will show you if you're wireless charging, if you're connected to Bluetooth, stuff like that. And you do also have the voice assistant. So you notice on every page, you always have this big search. Or you can also say, "Hey Toyota,"
what do you want to do?
And it will start listening to you right away, very quick and fast responding because it is connected to cellular data. As we rise above that, it might be a little tricky to see. There is a storage bin up here, and you have a 12-volt outlet if you still need one of those. We also have the auto-dimming mirror with the nice frameless design. You got your HomeLink universal remotes, and if you flip that switch, this is the rear camera mirror. So using the camera that's behind the back window, you are going to be able to cut out any obstructions or anything that you might have in the back seat that's blocking your view. Got your sunglass holder right there. Full LED lighting, of course, throughout the entire cabin. You would expect no less. And right behind where Mason is filming right now, or excuse me, actually he's pointing at the panoramic sunroof, so we might as well talk about that. Fully standard panoramic sunroof. With this open, wow, big opening here. So more than half of this, it looks like, opens up to the air. You've got this wind buffer here as well, so that it doesn't give you that so much wind buffeting inside of the cabin. And this is really just nice and airy, of course, something that was never available on the previous generation. But circling back, one of the things that was available on the previous generation, I'm very happy to see that as carried over, is this full power rear window. This is something none of the competition offer. You just have the little tiny quarter window, but on this model, we can do the entire rear glass and really get that airflow and ventilation inside of the cabin. But as far as the front of the cabin, that's pretty much all I need to talk about, but there's definitely some more stuff in the back, so let's go ahead and hop back there. All right, and coming into the back seat, the special features and touches will continue back here as well. Obviously, getting in is a very similar experience. Leather assist grip, big, nice running boards. And I'll shut up the door here. So a lot of the differences are going to be in materials from the other trim levels. The seats, for example, are going to be exactly the same as in the front. So you still have the beautiful semi-aniline leather that runs all through here in the two-tone black and white finish. Looks absolutely lovely. Feels very comfortable as well. Nice and supportive. And let's talk about space as well, since I'm kind of looking at that right now. We have just under 42 inches of legroom, as well as 39.5 inches of headroom, which is definitely very spacious. This, as Mason mentioned, on the exterior is the only way you can get the Capstone model, so you're always going to have the very spacious crew cab configuration for this model. Got the little storage areas back behind both of the seats here. And we'll take a look over here in this area. You're going to notice we have the same rear vents, but here's a really special touch that's super cool. 3-stage heated and 3-stage ventilated, that's right, ventilated seats here with the Capstone model are included as standard equipment. That's not something you see very often in vehicles in general. Some of the rival pickup trucks do offer this at this point, but it's just pretty rare in this class still. We have a household outlet. We have a regular and a USB Type-C, so no matter which type of charging you need, you're covered. I believe the floor mats are a little upgraded from the regular model as well, now that I'm looking at them. Nice and thick feeling. Over here at the door trim, I'll allow Mason to come on in here. No cheaping out from the front. This is exactly the same as the front, so you still have the open pore wood. You still have the full white leather on the armrest as well as above it, and the full leather that runs across the top. So very nice job on that. One thing I'm noticing you don't see very often, we do have a rear sunshade as well, so that's very cool. And let me just talk a little bit about the underseat storage. I say storage loosely because, surprise, there actually is not really any storage. One of the things that Toyota has done is you have your battery pack underneath of these rear seats. So they don't have to compromise anything with the bed or the packaging or anything, but you do lose that little bit of under seat storage, excuse me, when you have the Capstone and you have the hybrid powertrain. You can also fold the seats down as well, the same as before. Obviously you can still store stuff back there, you just don't have it hidden in its own storage area. Hop in on the passenger side here. Looks like the seats are gonna be power adjusting, of course. Similar levels of adjustment, but we don't have the power thigh extension, it appears, on this model. I don't know if that's a pre-production thing or not. Open up the glove box here, it's gonna be the same as in other Tundra models. So you have the shelf style, so you can slide things all the way back there. We got a little divider in here right now. Like I was mentioning earlier, nice materials up here in front of the passenger. Here's our sun visor. You notice we've got a nice warning here. It's pre-production, like I mentioned. Underneath of that, it's going to be a mirror. It does detach and it extends as well.
It is time to talk about the powertrain in this hybrid IMAX Force Tundra. So, now I'm sure you're very, very curious about this. This is the first time a hybrid has ever been offered on the Tundra, so you're like, Mason, let's talk about the driving, let's get behind the wheel. Well, unfortunately, there is an embargo until February 1st for the driving impressions, as well as some of the specifications for this engine on the Tundra. That said, we will have that video coming soon. We wanted to give you guys a first look at this to show you everything about it that we can show you, and then all of that other information will be coming later. That said, I can still talk about the horsepower as well as the torque figures for this. So we're looking at 437 horsepower, 583 pound-feet of torque, which is above that of the Ford F-150 Power Boost. Fortunately, I can also not talk about the fuel economy, but that will be coming later on. This is your 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6, and it is also going to be paired with a 10-speed automatic transmission, similar to what you find in the regular Tundra model, except they do have that hybrid componentry added on to give you more power. Now, you're probably also wondering about pricing. That's normally what I talk about. I cannot tell you the pricing for this Capstone model or any of the hybrids at the current time. That is coming on February 1st, so you're only waiting a few more days for that information. It will be on our channel, so be patient with us. It'll be coming soon. But guys, that's gonna wrap up this in-depth look of the new Capstone. We wanted to show you guys everything that we could show you at the current moment to get that information to you as soon as possible. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, we would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button down below. It helps us out. It helps us to get invited to events like this so we can sample some of the latest products for you all. Anyway, we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.